I've been walking these streets for 25 years, pounding the pavements. I know what's going on in the back rooms. I know what's going on in the boardrooms. What's the Deal is the place where the purple people hang out. We're the only show on television that allows a Democrat, a Republican, and an independent to come down and talk it out. The #1 show on television that always focuses on crypto. We tell you what's the real deal.
Yes, if we don't get what we want, I will shut down the government.
Okay. Welcome back to What's the Deal? I'm John Tobacco. Last week, we saw reality TV at its finest. America's favorite reality TV show president did what he does best. He invited Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer into the Oval for a little modern-day lion's den, and he proceeded to give them a piece of his mind.
Yes, if we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay. If the Dems blocked his wall, he was prepared to shut down the government. And here's what happened next.
We can build a much bigger section with more money.
Let's debate in private. Okay? Yeah, let's debate in private.
To me, what you just saw for the first time was historic. In his 48-year career in public service, that was the absolute first time Chuck Schumer did not want to be on television. He goes to Little League games, he goes to American Legions, he goes anywhere he can get some press, but suddenly Chuck didn't want to talk to Donald in front of the cameras. Take a look at his slithering body language right here. Now, usually in Washington, there's a rush to blame the other side for a government shutdown. You did it, you did it. Not what you saw here. Trump actually said,
The last time you shut it down, it didn't work. I will take the mantle of shutting down. And I'm going to shut it down for border
But we
security.
believe you.
great TV indeed. Maybe even Newsmax should give the three of them a show, because to me, that was some of the best political television I saw this year. And I'm all for transparency. Let the sunshine in. Sunshine is the best disinfectant. But imagine how our politicians would behave if all of their meetings were televised just like this. Do you think things would look a little different?
There's a funny thing, dear. All the naughty words sound woody.
Could this be a preview of what we can expect next for the next 2 years with Trump and a Democratic Congress? The bottom line is this. Trump only has a Republican Congress for a few more weeks. This could be his last stand to get a wall paid for. Who knows? Unless, of course, that big fat Publishers Clearinghouse check comes in from Mexico, like he said they were going to pay for the wall. But I had a better solution. My solution is simple. It may require a little Doc Brown style time machine.
I finally invented something that works!
If we could just go back to right before Obama gave $151 billion as part of a nuclear arms treaty, and Iran, for those of you scoring at home, is the world's leading sponsor of terrorism. But yet Obama gave them a huge ransom. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani did what Dr. Evil couldn't do. He got $151 billion. You know what? What if we would have taken that $151 billion in cash and we simply stacked it up on the border like a wall of dollar bills? If you don't know, 200,000 US dollar bills stacked 35 feet high would build a wall out of pure cold cash 150 miles long. Imagine Nancy and Chuck won't give Trump $5 billion to start the wall, but they stood by idly, said not a word when Obama gave our archenemy $150 billion. Not likely that migrants, be they future dreamers, future nightmarers, would have tried to climb that wall, thinking of paper cuts, while they may have been willing to risk life and limb to come here and work for maybe close to minimum wage, highly unlikely they'd risk death by 1,000 cuts which is what the fake news media on the left is trying to do to our current president, Donald Trump. I'm John Tobacco. That's my 2 cents. We got our political panel, right, left, center, coming up right now. Guys, thank you for joining us tonight on What's the Deal. Dr. Murray Sabrin is with us, professor of finance at Ramapo College in New Jersey, a libertarian candidate for U.S. Senate from New Jersey. Chris Coffey, one of New York City's top Democratic consultants with Tusk Ventures. And John Burnett is with us again tonight, former Republican candidate for New York City Controller, and he joins us again in the right seat. Guys, there's, to me, a lot of hypocrisy going on right now at the top in Washington when, for years, many Democrats have voted for a wall, and now $5 billion is the sticking point where they want to put Trump in a box. Murray, why won't they give him $5 billion when some of them have voted for significantly more?
The spending in Washington is obscene on both sides of the aisle. Republicans have been in charge of the government for many years, many decades, and we're running $1 trillion deficit in supposedly good economic times. So what happens when the next recession hits and the deficit goes to $2 trillion or more? As you said, there's hypocrisy on both sides. What Trump needs to do is cut spending. He cut taxes, but he was more toward the top of the income ladder. He needs to cut middle income taxes. Low income people don't pay any income taxes in the United States. We have a financial crisis that I've been writing about, that I've been talking about in my campaign, in my writings over the years. This is going to blow up. 2008 was a prelude of what's going to happen to this country because both sides can't control the spending. The Federal Reserve can't control printing money, and the perfect storm is coming to a head in the next few years.
I get confused when I watch some of the other channels and they're talking about things like this where they say this is going to blow up. I don't see the blow-ups, but Chris, why is $5 billion such a big deal right now?
So
why?
You just saw the market had the worst month that it's ever had, no gains over 2018. I think there's some signs that we're in for a pretty tough time. What I think is really interesting is that when Republicans are in charge of the White House, Republicans want to spend like gangbusters. But when Democrats are in charge of the White House, it's like, whoa, guys, we got to slow down a little bit. So everyone is kind of full of shit. Right? I mean, it's all it's all a little bit silly. They just don't agree. The Democrats think that more people should be able to come into the country, that we should be a country where with those kind of ideals. We need border security, but we need not to put up a wall to not let any folks in. So I think you saw a little bit of gamesmanship where everyone looked good at their base. Democrats, Nancy and Chuck did a really great job, and I bet Republicans were sitting there like clapping the president on.
You know what? On What's the Deal? We're trying to stake out a piece of ground that's like for the purple people, where not like all red or all blue, and a lot of people have a little bit of both. There's like a surf and turf menu going on there. And I think the purple people are a major constituency. And when you look at every poll, even the left polls, the right polls, people seem to want border security. That doesn't mean a wall, but people, the majority, a plurality of Americans want border security. Why, John, do the left want more people coming in when we can't even take care of the people that we should be?
Well, when you look at the electorate, some parts of the left, left supporters, aren't coming out to vote in large enough numbers, especially in certain states, those 13 swing states, right? So they're looking for new population of new voters, right? And those coming across the border, those overstaying visas.
Chris is shaking his head. He doesn't like it.
Are part of their new future demographic.
Chris, you don't think these incoming, as I call them, invaders are the new Democratic voters?
Everyone's grandparents.
Well, that's two separate things.
Now we're going to lock up the borders and lock up the keys.
Well, it's not locking up the doors.
Yeah, we're only.
This is part of the exaggeration.
I see Paul Ryan this week wants to let in Irish people. That's nice. Like my grandparents were Irish. They would have really benefited
I'm
from that.
Irish. I like that.
It's terrific.
I mean,
we won't let in people
I'm
below
down
the
for a little
border.
Erin Gobra.
We won't let in people below the border. But if you come from the land of Lucky Charms, then it's okay to come in.
Murray, we need more humans in America?
I'm an immigrant. We came here right after World War II, a few years after. My parents were the only ones in their families to survive the Holocaust. We came here illegally. How? My father was vetted in West Germany, where we were living, where I was born after World War II. My parents came from Poland. He was vetted because he was a partisan fighter. He had ties with Russia because they were supplying arms so he could fight the Nazis in Poland.
So are you part of the Russian collusion?
I don't think so. My
you're
father
not?
may have been because he spoke Russian. But the point is,
Every time I hear Russian,
I have
we
a
got to
salute,
leave.
yeah.
We got to
I
leave.
have a solution to this problem because the way we came in is perfectly acceptable, I think, to most Americans. We had sponsorship.
The point that he made earlier, right, in terms of the fiscal crisis, you can't have both. You can't have unfettered control of the borders and then be doling out, having a free welfare state. The two do not coincide.
I'm not talking
You
about a
said
welfare.
you came here legally.
Legally.
He came here legally. There is a way in, right? There's a port of entry for people who are seeking asylum. If there's a long line, when we go to the movies, we kind of got to get online,
Right.
Yep.
right? So why is Trump vilified for saying people who don't want to go to the port of entry but they want to jump on the wall are invaders? Why is he being vilified for that?
Well, I think first of all, he's got folks working at his properties that jump the line, and that seems to be okay. So, I think you have folks that will not take the jobs that they would have taken 50 years ago. There are folks who will not take the jobs that are on the market right now. You need people who are going to take those jobs. So I'm not saying we should let everyone in and it should be willy-nilly. You need border security. You need a process. But one thing you don't want to do is take kids born in this country, parents that cross the border, escaping from Guatemala or from horribleness going on in South America. We're not a country that puts them on a bus, rips them from their families, and throws them out. You need a process. I don't know what that process is.
I think Trump has actually said he's willing to consider the 12 million DACA people that are here, the anchor babies, and I think he said he's willing to consider it. But, and I'm with you on that. Like, what do you do? Well, the families are here. I mean, me personally, I think if people are here who didn't get here the right way, but they're good, upstanding citizens, they don't have a criminal record, they have a job, they're working, then what the heck? If their kids are from here, that's what America was made on. But when people are diving over the wall and chucking rocks at the ICE agents, I kind of don't understand why the left can't even see that as a violation of our sovereignty.
If you don't have a process, you get a tragedy like that Guatemalan girl dying. It is a huge risk to be in a caravan walking 1,000 miles to get here if they walked 1,000 miles. So parents have to take responsibility for their kids, and we have to have a process of being vetted at the border and getting sponsorship so you're not part of the welfare state. We are broke. We're running $1 trillion deficit. We can't absorb more people who are going to be on the public dole, on the public's dime.
I think we've never been in a time where that is as xenophobic and anti-immigrant as we are now, and I think that's where the Republican Party is. And obviously, there's a big part of the Republican Party, if not the majority of it, that is right there. That is right there with it.
Why is it xenophobic to say, let's only let people who come in through the legal process when we can't even take care of homeless people and emotionally disturbed people that are here? Why is that xenophobic?
Those are two different. I think those are two different issues. I don't. Most of the people that are homeless in New York are not people that have just jumped over the border and now they're over the border.
Agreed. That's what I'm saying. But we can't take care of those people.
Nor are they
so
people
why
that-
do we need
nor are
more
they people
people coming
that
in?
want the jobs in the South that these folks are predominantly taking? So I think you have just a Republican Party that right now is fairly anti-immigrant, and that's okay. They've. I mean, I don't know. I don't think
talking point.
I don't think
Gotcha.
anyone would disagree with that, right? I don't think we should get rid of ICE, right? I think that's like the left wing thinks you should get rid of ICE.
So you're not with Ocasio.
I represent the police union in New York. I represent the PBA. So like I think there's a place for law enforcement, and there's a place for ICE, and they do some great job on terrorism.
There's a place for order at the border.
There's a place for order at the border.
Murray, what do we need to happen between Trump and the Democrats
they have
for
to-
some unity
Well,
in
they have to
19?
recognize that the problem is they've been spending too much money, and the Federal Reserve has been destabilizing the economy. But both parties don't want to cut back on spending because both parties are dependent upon donors who get benefits from the spending of the federal
I
government.
think there's some infrastructure stuff they can work together on. I mean, I think
And that's going to blow the budget.
I think the president's already called for like more printing presses. So I think in the Democrat that is part of the Democrats' governing policy. So I think that they can get together.
Buy
on that,
now
right?
because things are going to get more expensive next year.
Well, they have to take care of DACA, like we talked about. They also have to, I think, find some common ground on infrastructure in terms of public-private spending, right?
Yep.
I think he's also talked about criminal justice reform,
Yep.
things of that nature. But we also have to resolve health care. and high drug costs. That needs to be brought under control.
Murray, Chris, Coffee, thank you. And Johnny, thanks for joining us again. I hope to have you back. You're watching What's the Deal? It's probably the only show on television where we have people from 3 different political parties who aren't paid to say the same bullshit. We have a good debate, a good discussion, and let you, the viewer, figure it out. We try to bring you the ideas of where the thinkers, where the rubber meets the road, bring it to the table for us. We'll be back right after this. Cryptocurrency, markets are crashing, all kinds of things are happening. It's the last show of the year, and tonight's my birthday. We'll be back right after this. What was Jackie Gleason's opening line on his show? What did he used to say? How sweet it is! You're tuned in to What's the Deal on Newsmax TV. It's the newest show on TV that's bringing you the real deal. We're bringing you real people, not talking heads out of Harvard and Yale. We're talking about people who are in the trenches, people who know where the rubber meets the road. And we're going to be talking about what's the deal on the economy. What's the deal when politics, when it intersects with the economy? What's the deal on cryptocurrency? What is the deal with our global economy? We'll cover all these topics and more every week. Welcome back. What's the deal is the place where we answer the age-old question, what's the deal? We're bringing it to you from Bobby Van's restaurant. And I wanted to talk about tonight, guys, with our second panel. John Burnett joins us again. He's staying with us. This is his second time on the show. Johnny, thank you for being here. Manny Alejandro, esteemed New York City attorney. And, of course, Frank Morano, my esteemed padre. The question is this, guys. Michael Cohen gave an impassioned plea just months ago where he said, I would take a bullet for Donald Trump. That's my job. I'm going to take a bullet for Donald Trump. And then as soon as a bullet came flying his way, he took a plea. And now Donald Trump's called him a rat.
That is typically a term associated with mobs.
Translating from mob speak.
He also is behaving like a mobster.
You could almost mix up quotes from Donald Trump with quotes from the actual Don of a crime family.
Everyone on the planet has vilified Donald Trump now as a mob boss because he used the term rat. Is it stereotypical? Are they making fun of Italians? I don't think
the Italian goes for.
Yeah. Manny.
Nice segue. Nice segue. I mean, look, here's the deal, right? We don't know what he knows, and we don't know what he told them, right? They're not going to show their cards. Why would they do that? The issue that I have is, as Trump's attorney or former attorney, he taped them. I've got a big problem with taping a client, right? You could take notes. You could do whatever. Michael Cohen taped Trump extensively, so they got the records. If they got the tape, so you don't know what's on those tapes.
You're an esteemed New York City global lawyer in many fields. Do you frequently tape your clients?
Absolutely not. I would never tape my clients.
John, you're.
You want to make sure? Is this being taped? It's being taped right now.
It looks like he's got a microphone.
Johnny, you have an expectation when you talk to your attorneys that they're not taping you?
When I talk to anybody, they shouldn't be taping me without my consent. And, you know, you want that level of confidentiality. You want that level of trust.
You have an attorney-client privilege, and
Right.
the point is, if you tape it, someone potentially could overhear that, and then what happens to that
Absolutely,
privilege?
a breach of trust.
So, if, for example, if I'm meeting with you and I'm representing you, and you put a tape recorder on a table, or you tape me on an iPhone, I'd say, John, shut that down. You're not taping us, right? But you're actually doing it in my face overtly. I'm saying no. The issue with this is, to the extent, you know, people probably didn't know that Michael Cohen was taping them. That's a major issue.
Frank, you have been taped.
That's right.
You have taped others.
That's right.
What does Michael Cohen taping Trump mean?
Well, I certainly don't think that attorneys should be in the business of taping their clients, but I want to answer your question from 3 different perspectives. In terms of whether or not Michael Cohen is a rat, I really don't view him
that way. And I think that the rat label doesn't necessarily fit. For me, a rat is someone...
Give us an example.
Well,
where
you
you've
name
seen a rat.
it. You know,
No. Give us
here's what a rat
give
is.
us an example
Here's
of
what a rat
what
is.
you deem a
Here's
rat.
what
small. He's a small rat.
Give us an example.
I'm going to tell you. A rat is someone who lives a lifetime as a criminal. And then when they get caught, instead of either going to trial and trying to prove their innocence, they instead choose to rat on all of their criminal cohorts, including saying things that aren't true if it means giving them a get-out-of-jail-free card. Michael Cohen was a very well-respected attorney, not someone that was viewed at all as a criminal. So I think Trump's labeling of Cohen as a rat doesn't necessarily fit. But you want to talk about a case where they're making a mountain out of a molehill. These guys, the folks that you just played, they are the boy who cried Trump. Because not everything Donald Trump does can possibly be the worst thing any president ever does. And yet, every week, I can't believe Donald Trump did this. We've sunk to a new low. So I think at some point, their whole hysteria loses a little credibility.
Manny, was Michael Cohen a respected New York City attorney?
I don't think so.
He said well respected.
All right.
Respectfully disagree with your description. I think he was viewed as Trump's guy. And Trump was a powerful guy, and Trump had people around him.
Was he Trump's guy or was he Trump's bitch?
Probably both.
I'm friends with a lot of attorneys. I have an expectation that if I give John Bostany, one of my attorneys, a retainer, and ask him to help me with something, he's not going to tape me and then give that to the federal prosecutors to try to prosecute me. Why is that not privilege?
Clearly an issue
America's
with privilege.
mayor already listened to the tapes and said there's nothing incriminating.
I think that's probably true. What does it say, though, that we now live in a society where the Department of Justice is so aggressive and federal judges are so inclined to trust what DOJ prosecutors say that they're willing to sign a search warrant to allow prosecutors the ability to listen to that stuff? That's the one thing that I hope conservatives, liberals, libertarians, vegetarians can all come together and say, you know what?
Even the vegetarians?
Yes, everybody. When we're living in an era where we're all terrified of a phone call from the FBI or the DOJ, instead of the government being terrified of a phone call from us, things are backwards.
You're not terrified about a call.
Absolutely.
I want to jump in. I want to jump in. Right. Look.
And I don't enjoy it.
We don't know clearly, like I said earlier, what Michael Cohen knows and he should know or he could know. Also, clearly Michael Cohen had other issues outside of Trump, right? So when his back was against the wall, he had a choice to make. His choice was to defend Trump or defend himself, and we know what he did.
Take a look at this quick clip.
The information that I gave to them was credible.
You're still cooperating?
If they want me, I'm here, and I'm willing to answer whatever additional questions that they may have for me.
Michael Cohen said, I am the guy who will take a bullet for Donald Trump. And then, to Manny's point, he pleaded guilty and testified against Donald Trump. Double barrel politics tonight. Frank Morano, Manny Alejandro, Johnny Burnett in a repeated performance right before Christmas, our final episode. Guys, thank you for some solid, thoughtful thinking on this stuff. You're watching What's the Deal? I started this season as What's the Deal being alternative NFL programming because we're on at 1 o'clock on Sunday. So you're watching What's the Deal, the show that after 10 episodes still does not kneel. We'll be back right after this.
So when you say, what's the deal? It's basically Trump saying, hey, you know what? These guys are the backbone of the country. These are guys that don't ask for anything. They're the ones it's on their shoulders, right? They're paying the taxes. It's their kids in the Hindu Kush and on the 38th parallel. They need a voice in the room. He's that voice.
Well, we got the cardiologist of the Trump campaign. He put his thumb on the pulse of America and started the Make America Great theory that put Trump in office. Steve,
thanks. I want to say one last thing. I say Chris Ruddy and the Newsmax team, it's so great to have you have a show. I know it's going to be a great endeavor.
Thank you very much. Welcome back. Every week, we're the only show on television that brings you the best people, the people that know where the rubber meets the road in cryptocurrency. And this week we're back with an unbelievable panel. Dan Viola has been with us from episode 1. He's the founder of the crypto practice at Sadis & Goldberg. He's also the CEO and founder of the Blockchain Shift Conference. So we're going to have some great news coming up about Blockchain Shift a little later. We have the Kaz, and then Frankie Morano is here. Since episode 1, he's been our crypto dummy. The guy who, when this season started, knew nothing about crypto. And he's been learning, and we've been keeping him in the whole season. Guys, thank you for joining us again. You're all returnees. Thank you for coming back. Dan, cryptocurrency has been crazy for the last couple of years. You're right in the middle of it. You represent funds, you represent institutions. You're the crypto man. What's your outlook for 2019?
Well, I think we're going to continue to see volatility in the marketplace. I think the regulators are giving us some guidance that is much needed. Recently, the SEC announced that there could be some nice approvals given through no action letters in connection with some of the offerings that we're seeing. So the more the SEC is giving that type of positive outlook, I think we'll see a little bit more of an uptick in the cryptocurrencies. I think we'll continue to find value in the blockchain. I think there's a lot of use cases that are continuing to come out. So I'm excited about 2019.
Kaz, I know you want to gratuitously talk about stable coins, but let's talk about 2019, just the year of the recovery. Where is 2019 for people who bought Bitcoin at 20,000, now it's at 3,000. In your view, what's happening in 2019?
I think from your theme, we'll see regulatory stability come out. We'll start to see some more action coming from the SEC and state legislatures and state regulators. And I think that'll form kind of the base of where everything from cryptocurrencies to blockchain implementation will come off of that.
So, two safety answers. Frank, did anything they just said make sense to you?
Well, certainly it makes sense, but whenever you hear somebody that's well informed, especially about the financial markets, speak confidently about anything, it always sounds like they know what they're talking about, and it sounds like it makes sense. Ultimately, I think, they always say no one can ever tell you when a stock is going to go up, or I think it's even more true with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. There's just no way to know. What I do think is interesting, last week, I said that I thought there was an increased international demand for cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, because of people seeking to evade sanctions in places like Iran. In the ensuing week, we've seen now the same thing in North Korea. We've seen the same thing in the UK. People that governments say, you shouldn't do business with that person, folks don't want to stop doing business with those people. And as long as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency presents an efficient, digital, cost-effective way to continue doing businesses with entities or countries that are verboten, it's not going anywhere.
Dan, is Frank onto something that, like, one of the things that cryptocurrencies will be good for is dealing with sanctioned and banned countries?
No, I don't think the U.S. government's going to tolerate any type of circumvention with the cryptocurrencies. If you're a banned country...
Let the U.S. government work on cracking down on hacking first before they work on transferring cryptocurrency from one banned entity to another.
No, hacking has always been raising a very difficult issue, and that's not just with the U.S., it's for other governments and an industry. But I think there's always going to be a strong policing of cryptocurrencies in connection with fraud.
A lot of like third world or second world type countries are very concerned about cryptocurrencies because they want to control the velocity of money in their country. They want to control inflows, outflows. This is one of the things that Bitcoin was created for people to be able to transact freely across borders,
John,
right?
I don't mean to interrupt, but if you were going to make a wish, that certainly would be it, that people would transact freely in exactly the manner that you just described. And it's very apropos because you're entitled to quite a few wishes today because it's your birthday, and we all want to say, Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John.
You want me to light my own cake? Ow! Ow!
By the time you get to your age, sprinklers start going off for the amount of candles your cake requires.
Yeah! All right, well, that was a nice surprise. Frank, thank you for the setup. Let's get back to non-birthday cake things. Dan, in episode 1, you came on and said that you were going to have an essay contest at the Blockchain Shift Conference in Miami. And there was a $10,000 prize. Who won the $10,000?
So we were very divided. We had.
I want the $10,000.
Yeah.
Was I in the contest?
No, you were not in the contest. You have to be a student to be in the contest. And we had about 300 students show up at the Blockchain Shift Conference in Miami. And we had a lot of essays to review, and we were split between 2 essays. One was Brielle Pearson, who we're going to award $5,000 to.
Whoa, nice.
And
Wow.
we're also going to award,
Brielle gets $5,000. This bud's for you.
And then we're also going to give $5,000 to Mark Malone, who's with the University of Miami Law School. He also,
Mark Malone, this bud's for you.
And we plan on presenting this prize to the winners in Miami on January 16th at the Pitch Shift Conference, which will be held at the One Hotel in Miami.
Now, for those of you at home who don't know, on January 16th, What's the Deal and Blockchain Shift are doing the first ever nationally televised pitch contest for crypto companies who have offerings to do or who have new products to do. January 16th in Miami at the One Hotel. Whoever gives the best pitch wins $10,000. It's the crypto panel. It's our end of season episode. It's Christmas. It's my birthday. It's one of the best nights ever. Greatest panel. Dan, thank you for joining us again. Kaz, always there for us. And Frankie has been at my side for more than a decade. We're coming back right after this with our final thoughts on what's the deal for 2019. Back right after this.
Hey, JT, what's the deal? The deal is it's your birthday. Happy birthday, and I hope 2019 is a great one for you and your show.
Hey, John. Happy birthday. Hope you're having a great day. And what's the deal?
John, happy birthday. Have a great day. You're doing a great job at the show on Newsmax. All the best to you, my friend, and many more.
Final warning. Going once, going twice. The final episode of What's the Deal for 2018 is going to be gone in 1 minute. And you would not believe this, but Neelam has not brushed her hair today. She just told me that in my ear as I. But we're gonna start a new segment. But we're gonna start to bid happy trails to people who are leaving the news cycle. Michael Cohen, who's off to jail, 36 months. He'll do 85% of that under the federal guidelines. Famed New York intellectual property, criminal defense attorney, John Bostany is here. John, we talked about it earlier. Is Michael Cohen a rat? Now he's going to jail. Do rats go to jail?
Rats go to jail for a lesser amount of time after they rat. So it's just a basic concept. They have information about somebody that the government wants, and they do a trade. So they give the information to the government, and they either get off completely or they do less time. The fact is that the guy is a rat, and it becomes a different animal when he's a lawyer, because it actually is kind of scary, John, because he's taping his clients.
Isn't it legal, though, in the New York State to be taping your clients or people?
In New York State, it's my understanding that anybody can tape somebody as long as one party to the conversation is aware of it.
The person taping.
Exactly. The question to me is whether it's right,
Ethical.
wrong.
Ethical.
Ethical
Neil,
is a different question.
You're a world-renowned businesswoman. You own you sold companies. You just recently opened Cantina Bella. You're an entrepreneur.
Taco Titan.
You're a Taco Titan. Do you not have an expectation that your lawyer is not going to tape you?
I think you should go in expecting the worst of everybody. Because you just never know in this world when the cameras are on, when the mics are on, and you should be careful, period. Yes, I don't think that my lawyer should be taping me, especially if he is here to serve me. But at the same time, if you're not doing anything illegal or unethical, you shouldn't care.
Moving on, Happy Trails number 2 tonight. Les Moonves. Les Moonves has been fired at CBS, and he will not get his $120 million compensation
Okay,
package.
I have one question. I thought media was struggling. So how is he getting paid $120 million?
He's not.
Well, how was he even potentially getting paid $120 million?
Frank, you work for a media company. Are they struggling?
Well, look, I think radio is in a little bit different situation than a multinational television empire. We're getting to the point where there's really only 5 or 6 media companies that you can work for, in addition, of course, to Newsmax. And CBS is one of the big 6. So they have the money to pay. I do wonder if the whole power struggle internally with Sumner Redstone had turned out differently, if we'd be seeing any of this. These accusations becoming public, and his departure and getting fired. Do not pass go. Do not collect $120 million.
This is fantastic. I saw you guys giving your presentation in
Oh, you
there.
were there.
I was in there for a little bit,
Awesome.
in between my segments and in between my Macallans that I've been drinking
Oh,
over
you're
here.
storing them there.
Well, somebody's got it. Yeah.
Cheers.
Have a Macallan. What the hell? And I want to thank Macallan. Happy trails as well to the Weekly Standard, an anti-Trump, never-Trump, neoconservative publication, which is now going out of business. Bill Kristol was a huge right-wing politico on TV all the time, all Fox News, hated Trump. Now he went over to MSNBC, he's sleeping with the enemy, and suddenly his publication is gone. Buzz, the death of Bill Kristol.
Well, Bill Kristol's still alive, but his magazine is not.
The death of Bill Kristol's magazine.
I think the magazine business is just tough. It's tough to sell advertisements on a publication.
I used to really respect Bill Kristol. I used to watch Fox News and want to hear what he said. And then when I start seeing him show up on Morning Joke.
You are, I believe, the leader of the loyal opposition. Not so loyal, but the leader of the opposition to this march towards the Trumpism of the Republican Party.
I started realizing that he was a joke, and that was just, I don't know, within the last year, and suddenly his publication is gone. Speaker Paul Ryan. Speaker Ryan will be happy to pursue his primary talent as an Eddie Munster impersonator for children's parties. That was probably the way we eliminated him as ever being a guest on this show. Nancy Pelosi in, Paul Ryan out. We're gonna do one final wrap up. This is the last episode of the last show of this season.
Good morning, John Tobacco. Happy birthday. Just wanted to wish you a very happy birthday and congratulate you on the first season of your show and its success.
Good morning and happy birthday, John. It's Dabby Queris over here in Arizona, Scottsdale. I'm not sure if you can see some palm trees in the back. Not in New York today. What's the deal? Just want to say congratulations on the first season. Many years to come, many more episodes to go, many more birthdays to be had. Happy birthday, John.
What's the deal? The deal is, it's John Tobacco's birthday. Happy birthday, JT. Nobody makes a deal like you. Hope you enjoy your day. We both have birthdays in December. December babies are the best, buddy. God bless. We'll celebrate soon.
Come on in, Joey. Come on, Joey. Come on, Joey. Come on, Joey. Benefits.
Come on down.
You want to sit? You want to sit in my seat? You want to sit in your seat right now?
Sit in my seat. It's
Yeah.
like you're a poor man joking.
Yes, I am poor.
Am I right or wrong? It wasn't for that we'd be off the air. Right?
This is getting
My
good.
Pillow and the My Pillow mattress topper with the promo code AM970. Thank you very much.
I'm not going to need to do much more now. We got basketball.
What's this?
Joe's taking over the show now.
Jeannie Zeno, Professor.
Whoa!
Everybody's on the
Joe, how about, why don't you sit here and I'll take a break right now. And we're back. Before we end this episode, my brothers are here. All my dear friends are here. Everyone's here just to make me happy for my birthday, which is amazing. Thank you, everyone. You're wonderful. You're welcome. Neelam, what do you want? What's the deal in 2019?
What I want for 2019 is to know who you are that's watching us so that we can give you better content
Yes.
and serve you better.
That's good.
Check us out on the website. Tell us what you think. Make sure you give us topic ideas, and we'd love to cover them. And second, I want to hear from more female entrepreneurs. If you're running a business or have a side hustle, please reach out through the website. Attention, Neelam, and let's see how we can help you grow your business.
More JT predictions, because we've had those in the past and they turned out to be almost all correct.
This is the point where we cut to all my predictions on other networks that were right. and
So if we can get more of
cut
those.
out all the ones that were wrong.
My quick 2 wants, John, for 2019 are: one is I would like to try and get more Twitter followers than Kim Kardashian. So I'd like everybody watching at home to follow me on Twitter at Frank Morano, Frank Morano. And second, more important and more immediate, is I'd love to know from you, John, how your birthday cake tastes.
Well, I haven't had any of my birthday.
Well, you should
cake
try
yet.
some.
Oh! It matches your suit.
You're watching What's the Deal, the show that doesn't kneel. All right, Jay.
It matches your suit.
The show is over. I had my cake and I ate it too. Season 1 is gone. The best of the best were here, and we're gonna get all the best for season 2.
Happy holidays.
Not bad. I feel like I have it up my nose a little bit.
Artist Scott Lobato here. I'd like to wish my very good friend John Tobacco a very happy birthday. And congratulations on the success of his show, What's the Deal? It's only a success because I was a guest on the show. Happy birthday, John. Love you.
Happy birthday, John. Wishing you a great year, health, happiness, and much success.
It's JT here. It's JT's for John Tobacco. Now wait, I have to use my cologne.
Happy birthday, John Tobacco, from one gorgeous Staten Islander to another. Congratulations on your first season of What's the Deal, and give that Frank Morano a kiss for me.
John, happy birthday, Bon Natale, and the best of the new year.
It's your favorite teacher, your favorite mentor, John Gaddy. What's the deal? The deal is that it's my pal John Tobacco's birthday, and I understand you're hitting the 50 club. Happy birthday, JT. Merry Christmas.
Hey, it's Joe Piscopo. Happy birthday, John, and congratulations on a great season of What's the Deal on, that's the name of the show right now. Right, okay. What's the Deal on Newsmax. No, honestly, when I need any vital information, like Bitcoin, I go to John Tobacco. When I need any information, like fashion, I go to John Tobacco. When I need any vital information, like stocks, I ask my mother. Happy birthday, Johnny. I love you.
How do I look?
I got buttercream up my nose.